Hey, what's going on? This is Griffin Gaming RPG, and it's a Monday morning, and ready to check out something a little different today. We're going to be back in Star Citizen, one of my favorite games. As you know, from time to time, I've been doing this series called Star Citizen 101, and this is basically a time that I set aside to answer any questions that anybody might have about Star Citizen, anything they're curious about. The game, as a lot of us know, has been in alpha. It started in 2012, and right now we're getting ready to move hopefully pretty soon into a beta status on the game, but it's still in alpha. And they've implemented several different modules to the game. Initially, there was a hangar module. After the hangar module, we ended up getting a arena commander module, which allowed us to do some combat in space and try out the different type of spacecraft that we basically had. And then from there, we went into a social module, which was on a planet called Stanton Arcorp. And then after that, we went into space, into a space station. Once we got there to Port Olisar, it was kind of like integrating all the aspects of the game, integrating the social aspect, the spaceflight aspect, being able to be in a multiplayer aspect where you could have multi-crew. But in the meantime, there was a launch of something called the StarMap, and this is basically our galactic map. It's the way to navigate in the world of Star Citizen, and it is still being worked on. This is also in alpha, but it is a pretty incredible tool for us to use and to get an idea of how large the world of Star Citizen will be. And so what we're going to do today is take a look a little bit at the star map. I'm going to try and share what little bit about it I know, and then from there we're going to hop around. We're going to do a little jumping around and see how it navigates, and check out a couple systems that are very popular to most people who keep up with Star Citizen. So if you look at the map here, you can see dead center here is the Sol system, and I think they were all familiar with what Sol is. Sol would be our system, the system that we live in. And so what I'm going to do is right click on this, and basically you'll see a display that pops up that tells you that this is a star system. There's a single star. It tells you the size of it, and also the affiliation. This is a part of the UEE. And over here it says you can expect, you can get information, routing, and bookmarks. So we're going to hit inspect, and this is going to zoom us in. Now if we had just clicked on that with the left mouse button, we would have got the same thing, but this brings us into the system, and as you can see, some familiar orbitals are here. We've got our own sun, or the star that we call Sol, and of course the planets Mercury, Venus, working our way out, Earth, Mars. I'm going to pull back a little bit more. There's the Herschel belt, there's Jupiter, there's Saturn. There's also some things that have been added into this world. For example, Sol Davian. This is a jump point, and also that there is a station here, which I'm going to click on. Whoops, went out a little bit too far. Didn't want to jump there. Let's see if we can get it a little again. Pull back, pull back. Maybe we can reach it from this time if I go here. This is another space station here. There we go. And this is a space station that is orbiting Jupiter, and let's see, this is Ganymede, and this station orbits Ganymede. So we're going to click on that, get information on it. In the upper right corner, IMS Bolivar. Though it is no longer in an active service, the Marine forces stationed here were reassigned to Mars. The base remains strictly off limits. So from time to time we have these different orbitals that we'll see that have been placed into the game. Some are space stations. We'll see a variety of things actually. So let's pull out of here. I'm just clicking on the map, and we're going to pull out a little bit more again. I think we made it out to Saturn just about last time. There's Saturn. Okay, there's a jump point here which we're not going to utilize just yet. There's Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. Here's also another jump point with another station, Todd Kessner Space Station. Let's see if we can get there. click on information here as well. A major shipping hub where most cargo moving to Earth is first processed to help alleviate congestion on the Empire's capital world. And so here once again is another man-made orbital. Pull out again from here. And let's see what else we've got in the system that we can take a look at. The Kuiper Belt, Pluto, Neptune. I think that's all there is in this system. It looks like this is it. Okay. So one of the things we'll look at, I'm going to pull back again here. Again, here's our system Sol, and I'm using my center mouse button to pull back here so we can get a better view of the systems that are in this part of the galaxy. And as you can see, there are quite a few. Now there are some games that offer way more systems than this, such as Elite Dangerous, but this is pretty expansive. And again, remember this is in alpha, and you can see the map. Wonderful music in the background. Hopefully you can hear me pretty good. And also you can see that this is a 3D map, that if I hold the right mouse button down, you'll see that this moves in three-dimensional space. Okay. So we're going to keep Sol dead center, and on the bottom here you'll see there are 6 icons differing in color that basically reflect the different factions that we have in game. So the first faction is United Earth Empire, the UEE. After that is the Banu. Let's see if I can pull back a little bit here and see if we can see where they're located. Ah, here we are. Here are the Banu. This area here. Then we have the Vanduul, the infamous Vanduul. That's our arch enemy. And you can see these red areas here would be their systems. Xeon. Oh, that was Xeon that I pointed to earlier. Let me go back here. Yeah, this is the Xeon here, the green. We'll have to find where the Banu are in here. I know they're here before. I've seen them before, but I've kind of forgotten where they are myself. It's been a little while. Ah, here we are. Banu. Here. And in this area here. Okay. Then after that, we have developing systems, which are basically going to be systems that people will be able to go into and hopefully, I'm not sure if it's lay claim to these areas, or these are just systems that haven't been designated toward anyone yet, or whether they'll be fought for later. I'm not really sure, but they're called developing systems. And then lastly, we have unclaimed systems, and these systems here, where you can see Pyro, Nyx, these are basically systems that are up for grabs. I know there are also pirates in these systems as well. Okay, so here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 factions, one area that's developing and another area that's unclaimed. Next to that are designators for the different type of jump tunnels, and depending on the type of ship that you have, that'll determine what type of jump tunnels you can utilize. So here we have small jump tunnels, which we can see the tracks here. Then we have medium jump tunnels, which means that small and medium-sized ships can utilize it. And then lastly, we have large jump tunnels, which are basically jump tunnels that all ships can use, small, medium, and large. Of course, if you work your way in reverse, back to medium, only medium and small ships can use it. And if we go to small, only small ships can use them. And if we want to see all the jumps all lit up, both small, medium, and large, we can see there's a pretty big network in being able to move around in these systems. Okay. Pretty awesome, huh? Alright, so we're going to center ourselves back around Sol once again. And we're going to turn off all the links there that go to the jump tunnels. Then finally, there are sensors here that allow us to get greater detail on systems. So I want to click here on the Sol system again. And what I'm going to do now is utilize these sensors here. And what these sensors do, the first sensor here is for population. And what we see here, highlighted in green, are the areas that have a dense population, or planets that have population in them. If we zoom out further, you'll notice that Neptune, Pluto, places like that don't. But here, we can see that both Mars and Earth, and it looks like out toward Jupiter. I'm not sure how that is out toward Jupiter. Maybe that's something else that's in there. But you can see that there's a heavy density of population here of people. The next one will be economy. The yellow designates where economy takes place in the system. Again, I'm going to pull out. We're not seeing yellow designated too many other places. There is a jump here from this jump point that says economy moves through these areas here. And then lastly, threats. Any areas where there may be threats. And of course, where there is economy, there are bad guys that seem to be moving anywhere in this area, from Venus to Earth to Mars, out to Jupiter as well. Okay. So we're going to pull out of this again. Back to our larger map. And so now what we're going to do is basically make a trip. We're going to use the jump tunnels and jump points to go across the system. So again, this does not show all systems on the screen, because you can see there are plenty of them. But for now, the ones that we're focused on, we'll be going from the system of Sol, which is here, to a system called Nyx. If we click on that, the Nyx star system is here. And in Nyx, there are 3 planets: Nyx 1, Nyx 2, and if we pull back even more, we'll see Nyx 3. Now, many people who play Star Citizen are familiar with Nyx, because Nyx has been known to be... Hi, prisoner. Sorry, I didn't see you for some reason or other. I didn't update here, even though you're texting. Didn't tell me anyone was online. Sorry about that. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for also the information on Jupiter. Jupiter is populated. Thank you. But here, Nyx is one of the systems that we're pretty familiar with, because we've heard about the landing site that will be on Nyx on a possible asteroid or planetoid. And so folks are very anxious to find out about Nyx as being one of our first landing zones that we can use. It's also going to be known as a haven for the mercenary type or the pirate type. So what we're going to do is go back to Sol. And we're going to pull out from here. And what we're going to do is utilize this routing aspect here. And what we're going to do is type in from Sol. And they're asking specifically where in Sol do you want to depart from. So for the heck of it, let's say Earth. And then here we're going to type in Nyx. And it also gives us options again. And we're going to say that we want to go to, for now, we'll say Planet 1. Okay. Now, once we've done that, we have to state what type of ship are we going to be using to get there. So, since everyone in the game is going to be able to have access to pretty much a starter ship in most cases, even though there are some people who just have larger ships, we're going to start with a small ship. So, let's assume that we're flying a simple ship like an Aurora or a Mustang. We're going to pick that. And then after that, you'll notice that Calculate highlighted. If this isn't clicked, we weren't able to pick it. We have to pick this, and we're going to say Calculate. Here we go. So it says we have 4 jumps, and we're going to ask to view the route to get there. Awesome. January 2014. That's cool. Well, thanks for hanging out with me, buddy. I appreciate that, prisoner. And by the way, if you see anything that I don't get right, feel free to jump in because I'm still learning the star map too. But here we see our first jump point, and I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here into our system, leaving from Earth, and we see that there are arrows that are guiding us out to our jump point, which is the Sol Davian jump point. So we're going to click on that, and this takes us to our jump point. For those of us in the days of Star Trek and Star Wars, we might call it a wormhole jump point, but we're going to click on it, and it's going to take us on a little trip. So here we go. Awesome. So now we've gone into the Davian system. Name's up here at the top. And if you notice here, again, there are additional jump points. There's one here, here, and one here. Now on the bottom here where it shows our route, it also says number 1 of 5. So if we were to click on this arrow, we will also see that there's another jump point. Excuse me one second. There you go. Alright. So we'll see that there's another jump point here. There's 3, which takes us to Kano. 4, which takes us to Pyro. And then the 5th one obviously would take us into Nyx. So this is just seeing how the jumps look. If we manually want to make our way into these areas, then what we're going to do is click on Kano, because we're in Davian right now. It is cool. Here we go, another jump. Yeah, the Lore Master segments have been very enlightening. I'm amazed at how much of the information they know about this just straight from the top of their head. Disco Lando says that one of the guys doesn't even have any, well, most of them don't even have any notes in front of them. They've memorized this stuff to such a degree, which is great that there's actually lore and history behind these places. It gives it some real substance and definitely helps with the immersion. So now we're in the Kano system, and we're going to make our next jump to Pyro. This is our 4th jump. And then lastly, from Pyro, we are going to go to Nyx. Now, one of the things that I noticed here, and I'm going to double back when we after we get through with Nyx here, because I'm going to come back to Pyro. But once we're here at Nyx, again, as I mentioned, there are 3 planets here, Nyx 1, 2, and 3. And I kept wondering, I said, well, where in the world, will this Nyx landing base be? And I pulled out far enough to see this place called Delamar. And when we click on that, this is what we find in the midst of this asteroid belt. And if we right-click on it and we look up information, this is the description we get. A moon-sized asteroid hidden deep within the Glacium Ring. Anti-UEE activists, political radicals, and criminals now occupy a deserted mining facility built inside this asteroid. In an effort to keep out potential criminal elements, visitors are strictly forbidden from entering its residential areas. So I think this might be a good hint as to where the bad guys are at Delamar. Maybe someone else knows something different, but this is what I found so far. When we read the description on the various planets here, it basically says that they've either been mined or no one's operating on them. So here's Nyx 1. Nyx 1 is Coralus world that has been mined clean. So we know that the pirates aren't there. Nyx 2. A high-pressure atmosphere and thick clouds of acid and carbon dioxide makes Nyx not worth terraforming, so obviously nobody's living there. And then if we go out to Nyx 3, pulling back here some more, Nyx 3 is an ice giant that lacks breathable atmosphere or any valuable minerals. So, pretty sure that it means that the planets are not going to be any place where we're going to go in this system. Now, I said I would go back to Pyro from here. So let's go back here. And this may be of interest to those of you who already are part of Star Citizen. That when we go here, if we pull out just a little bit, we'll see a very familiar place. Pyro Stanton. And for those of you who are already in the Star Citizen, you know that Stanton leads to where our location of Port Olisar and Crusader are. So let's take a look. Let's go here. Here's Crusader. We have various things, orbitals here that are going around here. We've got Security Port Korea, Port Olisar, Kovalex Hub, Crusader's Cry Astro Service. There's a scan hub station, the ICC scan, and also the comm array. So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to go to Port Olisar. And as you can see, there's a little hologram here. No, this isn't the PTU. We are actually on the StarMap, which is accessible through the Roberts Space Industries website. All you really have to do is type in robertspaceindustries.com/StarMap and you will get this, and you can bring it into a windowed view or a full screen view, and it's actually there for us to be able to practice and get used to the navigation aspects of the game before they integrate it in. But this will be your way of knowing how to get around the galaxy. One other thing, let me share this before I start talking about Port Olisar and some of the other orbitals here. The star map will be constantly updated as both the players come into knowledge about information, and as well as the developer and lore writers write it. So it will continue to be updated and expanded. Which ships do I have? Oh wow. I have an Aurora LX, an Aurora LN. Let's see, I have a Freelancer. I have a Retaliator. I have a Banu Merchantman. And I have a Constellation Andromeda. And I'm waiting on a Reliant to come out. The Banu and the Reliant, I'm still waiting on those two to come out. Oh, and I also have a Starfarer. So I've got quite a few. Not as many as others though, but I have a few. Okay, so again, here's our hologram. Thank you for that link, Prisoner, by the way. Here you can see the orbitals that are here, and again, this map is in 3D. If you notice that it's actually moving as we're looking at it, so we're in orbit around Crusader. But here, if we click on it, we will see information about Port Olisar. Located in the trade lanes of Crusader, Port Olisar offers a breathtaking view of the planet below. Owned and operated by Crusader Industries, Port Olisar acts as a gateway to the company's vast planetary holdings and orbital shipyards. Let's see, what else do we have here? Let me pull back just a little bit. So I'm trying to pull back. There we go. Security Post Korea. A brand new outpost built to house an extended Crusader security presence in the sector. It is expected to be open and operating soon. Tally is very cool. I would love to get a Saber, but I'm going broke. Anyway, Security Post Korea, most of you know this is the place where we do a lot of our PvP playing until Star Marine is finally brought out, if and when it's brought out. Security Post Korea is a place for us to do a little shooting at each other, and a little bit of the Call of Duty type of FPS first-person shooting is done at Security Post Korea. Let's see what else. And let's see, we have Kovalex. The Kovalex Hub Formerly Covalex's prime shipping hub for the system, Gundo suffered a catastrophic accident that resulted in an explosion and the deaths of all the employees aboard the station. Covalex has since been moved their operations to the Orison directly, which I haven't looked up yet. So, these are some of the main places that are in the Port Olisar module, the Crusader module of the game, and Covalex has some missions there that you can do just to find out what happened to the people that were there. We're going to pull back one more time here. So, anyway, this is just a little brief tour of the star map. I wanted to be able to show you guys where Nyx was, and I also wanted to be able to show you where Stanton was, particularly because Stanton is the area that most of us are utilizing in the game right now. Again, if you have any questions about Star Citizen 101, hey, feel free to ask me. There are other people online who could also help out with any questions that you may have. Remember, the Star Citizen is still in alpha, and hopefully this year we'll be seeing Squadron 42, the single player part of the game, come out, but we're anticipating a release within maybe the next week or two of the next update, which would be version 2.4. We're in 2.3.1 right now, and again, I really appreciate the time that you guys spent with me for this little bit of a tour of the star map and Star Citizen 101. So please follow and join the stream. Oh yes, thank you. And if you guys enjoyed what you saw today, definitely feel free to follow me. I really would appreciate it. I'm on usually Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays around midday, and sometimes on Friday night and Saturday night. But I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. And definitely go visit this, robertspaceindustries.com/starmap. Definitely worth checking into. You guys have a great day today, and again, thanks for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. Take care.